Okay guys, I'm going to show you how to make a seahorse. It's going to be about this big from a regular size paper. So we start by doing rabbit ear fold. Fold that to a triangle. Take the adjacent edges down. This side. Let's pull this up a little. There, now you can see the whole thing. Both at once to the intersection. And bring this triangle together. Oops. And you can see it can go either way and it lines up. Same thing on the back. So both edges to the corner, both at the same time. Get this guy out of the way. And this should face the same way as the bottom part, so we'll do that. Okay, now we're ready for step 2. Step 2, you're making the fin. We're going to fold these up and then do an inside reverse fold on the end. Same thing in the back. It has that repeat symbol, and seahorses have 2 sides. Okay, flip it back over. We're going to fold this flap over for the belly, and we'll do that at about 1/3, so it takes up about half the top surface. And try to get that evenly to the end. This is going to matter later when we curl it. So same thing on the back. You could just fold it behind, but I think it's easier to flip it over so you can see what you're doing. But always make sure you flip it back unless the instructions tell you otherwise. Step 5 is an outside reverse fold. So we want that to be above the fin because all this up here is going to be the neck and the head. Remember, this is the back, so that means we have to do this 2 times. So first one in step 5. It's easier to do an outside reverse fold if you flatten it enough to flip the top over. So about right there. And if it goes too far, the fin will stop it. That's okay. So I fold it back together. Start to reverse the crease up here, and then before I do my mountain folds, I'm going to pull it up to an angle I'm happy with. Otherwise it's going to look like it's bucking its head back. And now it kind of looks like a weird angelfish, so we're on track. So from about here we want to do the same thing again. This is the neck, and now the head needs to face this way. So flatten out the top part enough to flip it over the top. Pull it back over, and it's reversed on the outside. So if you look in here, you can see we have valleys and mountains here. So that's still a little high, so I'm going to pull it down a little. There we go. Because your seahorse does not have a beak, you want to fold in the corner, and then to get a brow ridge and a snout, to look like an actual horse head, thus the name, you do a little pleat here. So I like to open it just enough to fold it where I want the eyes to go, and then kind of grab the end and get it where I want before I fold it down. And it's okay if this is short or a little long. Alright, starting to look like a seahorse other than the body curling. So for that, what we need to do is a bunch of crimp folds. And for me, the easy way to do that is to stick my finger where I want to crimp, grab both sides with my thumb and my other finger, grab the top. Now when I pull my finger away, there's a gap. So what I'm going to do with that is push on the sides until they come out and force them down over the bottom. You can see a mountain fold in, a valley fold in, an angle We're going to do a few more of these along the body. And make sure that these are actually going at an angle, otherwise your seahorse is just going to look like a crinkle fry down here. You can see each time I crimp it, I'm curling the body more. And you can make these shallower or deeper depending on how you want it to look. And we'll do one more for good measure. Last one's toughest because you don't got a lot to work with. And there we go, Seahorse. Alternately, because crimps are hard for the last part, you can just do an inside reverse fold, kind of like you did on the crane. And one more if you want. Maximum curly tail.